We would now like to start the summary session. Our moderator this evening is Mr. Yunus Arikan, Head of Global Policy and Advocacy, ICLEI World Secretariat. Mr. Arikan, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you for the kind introduction. It's a great pleasure and honor for me to join this summary session of the Zero Carbon City International Forum. I'd like to inform our participants that in this summer session, we will have a summary of the 2 days from our colleague Ms. Kataoko from IGES and Mr. Togo Uchida from ICLEI, Japan. They will cover around 10 minutes of a presentation of what we have heard in yesterday and today, some highlights. We will also hear from them about next steps. And we will also have some feedbacks after they finish their presentation. So I also would like to share some personal insights with regards to this atmosphere, the event we are having today, just as an introductory remark. In fact, today I'm also addressing you in my two hats. One of this ICLEI, which is one of the partners of this forum, but also I'm the focal point of local government and municipal authorities constituency. This is my responsibility, as this is the responsibility of ICLEI since 1995, the year the UN climate negotiation has started. We all know the global processes are run by national governments, but building on the spirit of the Earth Summit, Agenda 21, we have stakeholders, major groups, and local governments are one of them. And in fact, since 95, we are one of the core stakeholders in the process who are supporting the negotiations, that we provide our inputs, insights. And this is not just only by ICLEI. We have more than 25 networks across the world. So we regularly participate. We make interventions. We convene our side events, and we interact with the national governments, in particularly through Friends of Cities and Friends of Multi-Level Action, so that our suggestions are translated into the negotiated outcome. So that's how we integrate into the negotiation process, not directly, but through national governments with our colleagues, such as national governments like Japan. So today's event actually is the 2 days marathon, but it is in fact in my capacity, in my relation with Japan colleagues, I have been observing since 2009 all of these efforts. What I have noticed, what we are impressively now seeing hundreds of local governments, national governments, and working hand in hand, being a model to the rest of the world, is in fact a result of two processes. One, a perseverance of the Japanese government and stakeholders. When I heard that in 1996 was the first legislation where ministry is working and inviting local governments to account their emissions, report annually to the Minister of Environment. This was remarkable, and at that time, none of the national governments have having such a procedure. In 2011, when we have developed our registry, Japan was the first national government who have mobilized hundreds of cities who with their commitments and data inventories. So we were always impressed by Japanese national governments, but also local and regional governments. In 2018, when we heard this emergency coming up, again, it was leadership from pioneering cities like Tokyo, Yokohama, Kyoto. But we were also observing that in addition to the institutional capacities, now it was the political leadership. When we heard Minister of Environment asking local governments around the world, around Japan, to bring more ambitious 2050 targets, it was a clear signal that this was a welcome invitation that local governments immediately responded, the prefectures. And that is what type of multi-level collaboration we'd like to see. So what you see today is a gradual increase of the capacity, but also introduction of new political vision. And even in these hard days and months, for example, early 2020, I remember when there was a revised Japanese NDC, there were question marks that it was not as ambitious, and we were telling globally and partners saying that, look, it's not over. We will be coming up with more announcements from Japan because they are working with their local governments. I remember our first webinar in 2020, July, our efforts in the Race to Zero announcements. And I remember Minister Koizumi announcing this event being convened by Minister of Environment in daring cities. Now we are here, so that all these efforts are now building up and coming to a conclusion. So in that regard, I think this is the type of leadership we would like to see from all national governments. And in that regard, the diversity of the stakeholders here, the interaction with national governments, the UN agencies, is for us in the right moment, in the right model. So this will probably be spread around the world, and we have seen the messages coming to Special Envoy Kerry. And in that sense, we have been enjoying the local government's constituency that we have been asking for a roadmap for a multi-level action COP in Glasgow. So what we are seeing here, Japan, will very likely be spreading. So I don't want to take too much of this introductory remark, but I think now we'll hear from our colleagues from IGES, Mrs. Kataoka. I'm eager to hear their summary. And once we hear from their presentation, we can come up with another wrap-up so that we can make better use of our time. I'd like to give more time for our rapporteurs. So if this is okay, I'd like to invite Ms. Yatsuka Kataoka from IGES to take us through the wrap-up of the 2 days, and then we will continue with Mr. Togo Uchida. The floor is yours, Ms. Kataoka.
Sorry, Yunus, actually, we changed the order. So okay. I will give the input first. And so let me start by sharing the screen. Yep, so I hope everyone is able to see the screen. So from my side first, I would like to share the outcome of the last 2 days of very intense, very interesting seminars with very influential participants who have participated in our forum. So we had speakers from 28 cities from 15 countries, including video message, and we received about 800 audience in the first day. Now, we have uploaded the video on YouTube, and the number of audience has actually increased by numbers as we speak. So on the first day in the opening session, we had Minister Koizumi Shinjiro, as well as Executive Secretary of UNSCCC, Patricia, and UN Special Climate Envoy, John Kerry, giving us the video message. Following the opening session, we had a plenary 1 session. It was moderated by Naoko Ishii from University of Tokyo, and we had a very influential speakers from all around the world, including Governor of Tokyo, Governor of Hawaii sent us the message. We had Mayor Bonn also sending us a message. Mayor of Sherfushan, Mohammed Sehfani, also gave us a very insightful view from African cities. Suzanne from leader of Glasgow Council gave a speech, and also Mayor of Kuala Lumpur. And then Minister Koizumi gave the wrap-up of the plenary first session. Plenary 2, it was moderated by Kobe from ICLEI, and we had Gonzalo from High Level Climate Champion, as well as Governor of Jakarta, Lord Mayor of City of Hobart, Mayor of Yokohama City, Deputy Mayor of London, Frank Coney, Mayor of Des Moines, also representing as a chair of ICLEI, and also our Parliamentary Vice Minister giving the floor. And then today, we had opening session. It was opened by State Minister of Environment of Japan, Sasagawa Hiroyoshi, sorry. And then we had inputs from Ken, from COP26 Regional Ambassador to Asia Pacific from United Kingdom, as well as Deputy Executive Director of UN Habitat. And also representing from the local government, we had Governor Abe Shuichi from Nagano Prefecture, as well as Mayor Kitahashi from Kitakyushu, who have made the session. So from now, this session, I'll ask Kataoka-san to give the outline of the key messages and outcome from some of the sessions that we had. So Kataoka-san, over to you.
Thank you very much, Uchida-san. So I introduced some key message from the yesterday's plenaries and also today's panels. So this slide shows some key message from the Day 1 plenaries. So there are lots of key message, important key message. So I would like to highlight the role of cities are re-emphasized in coping with the climate change and the COVID-19. So and also another important message is that the response to the COVID-19 should simultaneously be equitable and innovative in alliance with the climate change mitigations. So from the today's the panels and also the plenaries, so for the policies and measures for zero carbon, so the cities are setting ambitious carbon reduction targets both 2030 and 2050 already. So the cities is ahead and leading the zero carbon futures. And also some cities and regions are setting carbon neutrality before the 2050 deadlines. Also, some speakers emphasized the importance of adaptation measures in addition to mitigations, and also the importance of natural resources. So for the renewable energy and the local resources, so cities, speakers, a lot of speakers, they emphasize the importance of renewable energy and the local resources utilizations. Cities can capitalize in the available local resources. Also, the introduction of renewable energy can open opportunities to create new business opportunities and improve quality of life standards. Also, the cities are promoting circular economy models to reduce waste and optimize raw materials, which contribute to the emission reductions. Next, please. So for the redesigning urban infrastructures, so cities are increasingly incorporating zero carbon concerns in urban planning. So transportation is one of the sector. For the Jakarta, so they are building somehow walkways and also introducing the electric bus, and Tokyo introduced hydrogen buses. So and also the other lots of cities is doing a lot of things in transport. And also for the building sector, so buildings are becoming more efficient in many cities. So including the generation of renewable energy and also the retrofitting of old buildings is emphasized in some European cities. So for the financing, so cap and trade mechanism, divestment citizen future funds from fossil fuels, also is introduced as leading measures. And also need of the financing, the access mechanism is also emphasized. Next, please. And finally, the importance of collaboration and cooperation is re-emphasized by many speakers again and again. So we need to have collaboration between cities and national government, also the stakeholders, between stakeholders, and then also businesses. So all stakeholders should cooperate for the zero carbon futures. So this is a summary from me. So I hand over the presentation to Uchida-san again.
Okay, thank you very much, Kataoka-san. So I will introduce the summary and visions towards COP26. So after this forum, we will compile the output document, and it will be circulated. It will be created and circulated in the near future. But what we see from now is the summary, what I'm showing you on the screen right now. So both the key messages that we got from this forum is listed in front of you. So both national and local governments benefit by addressing challenges through horizontal and vertical collaboration. Leading cities can amplify the effect and encourage other cities to join the cause by sharing technical know-how through city-to-city collaboration. Third, creating the domino effect through multi-level collaboration can support more cities to commit to the cause. Fourth, the more cities join in the cause, the easier it is for the national government to commit to a binding target. And lastly, it is essential to continue advocating for collaboration and enhance inclusiveness at all levels of government to realize the transformative vision of the Paris Agreement and to truly redesign our socio-economic systems towards a sustainable, circular, and decarbonized world. So with these messages, I'm showing you the global calendar of some of the key events that we are foreseeing up until COP26 Obviously, we are aiming for the April 22nd Earth Day. The climate summit will be held by US leadership. And in June, there will be World Environment Day and also Urban 20. July, G20 Climate Environment Ministers meetings happening. September, Asia-Pacific Climate Week will be hosted by Government of Japan. And then we will also have pre-COP 26 in Italy. In October, G20 Leaders Summit will gather, and then we will have also Urban October, which is in these consecutive events, we will have World Habitat and Cities Day and also Daring Cities 2021 organized by ICLEI. And then we will have COP26. So we will have all these occasions to amplify the key messages that we gathered from this forum. So back to you, Yunus. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Kataoka and Togo. That's really a rich, in-depth, let's say, discussions coming to the surface and giving us some roadmap towards the next couple of months and across the year. What I would like to also underline, I always like this innovation from the Japanese partners. In the days of Kyoto Protocol, I remember City of Kyoto saying, "Do you Kyoto" as their motto. Last year, we heard about redesign. Now it's also even discussed here. And now we have a new phrase, decarbonization domino. That's fantastic. And I would like to commend the Japanese officials and stakeholders for this creativity. What I also noticed, first of all, there's also diversity of different national governments and UN agencies. And let's remember, this is the first time we're having this event after the announcement of the neutrality commitment of Japan government. And we are on the way to expectation of an NDC. And there were numerous references to how to build this to the NDC. So this is also our next challenge. And in that regard, I'm also impressed. For example, throughout the 2 days, we watched a video of Japan, but it is not Minister of Environment. It was prepared by Prime Minister's Office of Japan. This is also, again, in scaling up that how serious Japan wants to take it further, that it is not anymore an environment minister, but it's whole of government. And in that regard, I also would like to underline the call from UN Habitat Executive Director, Deputy Executive Director, that we will have an urbanization ministerial, for example. That is an additional contribution. So in that regard, I think the messages, it's good that Japan will continue to host the Asia-Pacific Climate Weeks. We will connect to the Climate Summit on 22nd of April, and Urban October is a golden opportunity for us so that just before COP, we can demonstrate how local and regional governments can complement the ambition. So in that sense, the LGMA constituency would warmly welcome. We'd like to commend the Japanese government, Minister of Environment, leadership of Mr. Koizumi. And as ICLEI, I'd like to conclude with our honor and pride to be participating in this process. And I hand over to the next closing session to officials. And once again, thank you very much for all your collaboration. And we're very happy to be part of this process.
Thank you very much, Mr. Arikan, Mr. Uchida, Mrs. Kataoka. Now, I would like to invite Mrs. Horiuchi Noriko, State Minister of the Environment, Japan, to close the meeting.
Thank you, Chair. I'm Horiuchi Noriko, State Minister of the Environment, Japan. In closing this forum, I'd like to say a few words on behalf of the organizers. Thank you all for attending this 2 days forum. Now, I'm glad that it has come to an end with great success. I appreciate the support provided by the UNFCCC, Secretariat, IGIS, ICLEI, and the World Bank. Also, I'd like to express my gratitude to the interpreters who worked hard over 2 days. 28 cities from 15 countries joined this forum virtually. In addition, 11 international organizations joined this forum. I'd like to express my sincere gratitude to everyone for their participation and their valuable and thoughtful contributions. From now on, let me give my speech in English. In Japanese, sorry, in Japanese. Japanese language is my mother language, so let me speak in Japanese.
So this forum's theme is the city's decarbonization and zero carbon city, which is in the forum's title, and that is our goal. And we were able to share the advanced activities of cities and very specific activities. And we were also able to reconfirm the importance of the roles of the state government as well as the international organizations to support such activities. Ministry of Environment Japan would like to create the advanced models for decarbonization and create and trigger a decarbonization domino effect through that, and eventually to a worldwide movement for decarbonization. And that is why we held this forum, and we are holding other events too. And listening to the discussions today, we were once again made to be aware that we should make contribution to the worldwide city-level decarbonization by spreading this domino effect. And Minister Koizumi and the leadership of the Minister of Environment Japan were praised by many people, and I would like to thank you for that. And as some cities noted in this forum, decarbonizations of cities are not the objective which are not done as such alone, but it should be conducted in conjunction with the resolution of other social issues. Personally, I am working on the circular economy as the State Minister of the Environment. Decarbonization cannot be achieved if we are not redesigning our socio-economic system to a more circular economy system. That is why we would like to also work on the transition to circular economy in conjunction with the decarbonization. These perspectives that we were able to gain through this forum will be made available as a forum summary document. And we would like to share the fruits of this forum in different places and conferences leading up to COP26 and keep the momentum and even increase the momentum towards that. So the promotion of the city's activities and zero carbon city and the decarbonization domino effect, these are the keywords. And by confirming those keywords, let me conclude my closing remark.
Thank you very much, State Minister Horiuchi. That concludes all sessions for the Zero Carbon City International Forum. Thank you very much for joining us over the past 2 days. The forum will be available for viewing at a later date. Details will be announced on the website of the Institute for Global Environmental Strategies. Thank you very much for all the viewers around the world. Good night from Japan.